moved out with my son after my wife sided with his ex-girlfriend over a pregnancy he swears isn't his. My son Jake is 17 and dated this girl Amy for about 4 months last year. They broke up pretty quietly and he seemed fine about it. Then 3 months ago, Amy's parents showed up at our house saying she was pregnant and Jake was the father. Jake immediately said there was no way it was his. He was so calm and certain about it that I believed him right away. But my wife Sarah completely lost it on him. She started screaming about how he needed to take responsibility and stop lying. She kept saying he was ruining this poor girl's life and that we raised him better than this. Jake tried explaining that it literally couldn't be his baby, but Sarah wouldn't listen. She called him a liar and said he was being a deadbeat dad before the kid was even born. The fight got so bad that Jake locked himself in his room for 2 days and wouldn't come out when Sarah was home. I tried talking to Sarah privately and told her that Jake seemed really genuine about this not being his baby. She said I was being naive and that of course he would lie to get out of this. She actually wanted to start setting up child support payments before we even did a paternity test. That's when I realized I needed to get Jake out of that house. He was miserable and his own mother wouldn't even hear him out. So I moved into a small flat with him while Sarah stayed in our house. She thinks I'm choosing our son over doing the right thing, but I'm choosing to believe my kid when he says he's telling the truth. For weeks, Amy's parents refused to do a paternity test. They kept saying Jake needed to man up and accept his responsibilities, but last Thursday, they suddenly agreed to it. Test is scheduled for this Wednesday. I have no idea what changed their minds, but I'm relieved. I told Jake they agreed, and he actually asked to meet with Amy and her parents to apologize. I drove him over there Saturday morning. He apologized to her parents for some things he said when they first accused him. They were pretty decent about accepting it, though I think they owed him an apology too for how they handled things. Then he talked to Amy directly. He said he wasn't trying to start drama, but that they both knew it wasn't his. She looked him right in the eye and said it was definitely his baby. The tension in that room was insane. On the drive home, I asked if maybe he wanted to talk to his mom or apologize for anything he said during their fights. He said absolutely not. He told me he hates her and will never forgive her even if she apologizes first. If she comes to the flat, he literally leaves until she's gone. That night, I told him I wouldn't be mad if he'd been lying this whole time, but if he had been, I'd rather he just tell me now before the test results come back. He looked me dead in the eye and said again that it's not his baby. Then he got quiet for a minute and asked me to promise I wouldn't get mad if he told me something. He said the reason things never went far with Amy is because he can't get excited with girls. He said he does use condoms, but not with girls. Then he just went to his room before I could respond. The next morning I told him I loved him no matter what and that I was fine with whoever he is. He seemed relieved. I asked him about something he'd said before about Amy's dad and he clarified it was actually a guy his own age he was talking about. I didn't push for more details. He made me promise to keep it quiet so I can't tell anyone else. But now it makes total sense why he's been so certain this whole time that the baby isn't his. Sarah still won't talk to either of us. The paternity test is this Wednesday and I already know what it's going to say. My son's been telling the truth this entire time and his own mother called him a liar and a deadbeat for months.